Credit card fees under fire, a senator's showdown. Hold on to your wallets, folks, because today we're diving deep into the world of credit card fees. These fees might seem small, but they can add up to a significant amount over time. It's more exciting than it sounds, trust me. We're talking about the kind of money that can make or break a budget. The setting? A Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. A place where the stakes are high and the discussions are intense. The players? Senator John Kennedy ready to rumble, armed with facts and a no-nonsense attitude, and Visa, or at least someone they sent in their place. The tension in the room was palpable. This hearing was supposed to be about the Credit Card Competition Act, a piece of legislation that aims to shake up the credit card industry and bring more fairness to consumers. This act could potentially change how credit card companies operate, making it a hot topic for debate. But before we get to the bill itself, let's just say, Senator Kennedy had some thoughts, and he wasn't shy about sharing them. He wasn't afraid to share them. His pointed questions and sharp comments kept everyone on their toes. This hearing had it all: high-stakes financial debates, pointed questions, and enough tension to make you want to swipe your credit card just to feel something. The main takeaway? Those tiny fees on every swipe add up and they can have a big impact on your finances over time. The main takeaway? Those tiny fees on every swipe add up and someone's got to answer for it. It's time for some accountability. And someone's got to answer for it. The question is, will this hearing bring about the change consumers need? Absent CEO, present concerns Visa in the hot seat. Now you'd think with something as important as credit card fees being discussed, the CEO of Visa, one of the biggest players in the game, would be front and center. You'd think that, but you'd be wrong. See, Visa's CEO was a no-show, citing a mysterious conflict. Senator Kennedy, never one to let a good opportunity slip through his fingers, pounced on this like a cat on a laser pointer. A conflict, Kennedy drawled, his voice dripping with skepticism. Must have been some conflict. The implication hung heavy in the air. Was the CEO of Visa too busy to address concerns about fees impacting millions of Americans? Not exactly a good look, Visa. Debit card déjà vu, lessons in fee regulation. The story of how regulation can reshape the financial landscape. With the CEO a no-show, the room felt a bit tense. The absence was palpable, almost like a silent protest. Senator Kennedy turned his attention to the matter at hand, the ever-increasing credit card fees that burden consumers. The question on everyone's mind was how to rein in those pesky credit card fees that seem to climb higher every year. Now, this isn't the first time Congress has tried to tackle this issue. Remember debit card fees? They were once a major concern too. Yep, those used to be the Wild West of fees until Congress stepped in with some much-needed regulation. Kennedy, with his folksy wisdom, reminded everyone of that little history lesson. He spoke of the days when debit card fees were out of control. See, back in the day, Congress capped debit card fees, and guess what? It worked. The fees were reduced significantly. Those savings actually made their way to the consumer. Imagine that. People were happier and the economy benefited. This time around things are a little different. The landscape has changed, and so have the challenges. Instead of straight-up capping fees, the Credit Card Competition Act wants to inject some good old-fashioned competition into the market. Will it work? That's the big question. Only time, and probably more Senate hearings, will tell. The future of credit card fees hangs in the balance. A warning shot, the stakes of inaction. The rising tide of credit card fees has left many consumers feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. These fees, often hidden in the fine print, can add up quickly, creating a significant financial burden for everyday people. Senator Kennedy, in his own unique way, delivered a message directly to Visa and MasterCard. His words were not just a casual remark but a stern warning, echoing the sentiments of millions of Americans who are tired of being nickel and dimed. He urged them to work with retailers and find a solution to these high credit card fees. The collaboration between these entities is crucial to ensure that consumers are not unfairly penalized. Get it done, he warned, before Congress has to step in. The implication was clear. Legislative action could be on the horizon if voluntary measures are not taken. And we all know what happens when Congress gets involved, right? The process can be long, contentious, and often results in regulations that can be cumbersome for businesses and consumers alike. Let's just say, it's not always pretty, the stakes are high, and the potential for a messy legislative battle looms large. The message was clear: ignore the concerns of consumers and lawmakers at your own peril. The pressure is mounting and the call for action is growing louder. Whether Visa and MasterCard heed this warning or not remains to be seen. Their response will be closely watched by both the public and policymakers. But one thing's for sure, this battle over credit card fees is far from over. The tug-of-war between financial giants and consumers is intensifying. So buckle up, folks, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. The journey ahead promises to be filled with twists and turns, and the outcome is anything but certain.